Hello and welcome to Don't Eat the Cashier. Don't. What are your pronouns? He, him. I like how they ask that. You choose your body type. You have a body type 1. What's your name? Your name is Ethan. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other end, money is money. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. Oh god, this is very... 0 responses. I had to swallow my pride and I find at least something. I found this note stuck to the glass of a bus stop. A human organism wanted to work at gas station. Organisms do include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends, long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips. Juicy juices, I like the sound of that. Food from out, seriously? The guy's got a style of his own. Apparently, the manager is just an eccentric dude. Or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Oh, I thought juicy juices. Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too. And that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Oh, he's a furry! Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit me, or maybe scrub the floors with a toothbrush. The fuck? I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain usually tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination, no. Psychosis, no. Too many energy drinks, maybe. A typical middle manager? The monster from my nightmares stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My god. The creature made a sound, not from a mouth. It had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk. Hollow, profound, bone shaking. Bob. His name's Bob. Greetings, organism. I am Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds. But you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No. Oh, fuck. This is real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You must have food. Mounts and obey me. For I am ancient. Oh, fuck. Memorize the rules of establishment. For my patience is limited as the salary I offer you. I can't do the voice. Rule number 1. You sell no matter what chicken food from a remnant fuel. Noodles made from crystals. Lottery tickets for extra limb raffles. Discount route. Extra foil. Everything must be told. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but I didn't wake up. Rule number 2. Be polite to customers. Ignore bald spots and werewolf fur and watch out for drafts when Ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What does that even mean? What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency. And they should only pay in monetary units. Oh god, it's capitalism. Oh. Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with the currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they cannot give away currency. Werewolves act. Excuse me, dear sir, do you seem to mention. And my voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down. Werewolves? And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles, damn you. I shall answer your question, courteous, polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are still slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. This is all you need to know. No, I only decide what I need to know. This is really, I fear my Mona. Incorrect, human. This statement is actually legally and metaphysically inaccurate. Rebellious conglomerate of water and carbon. I don't even know what a conglomerate is. My apologies, organism. It seems I overestimated your linguistic abilities. The good news is that the only skills required from you are button pressing and servicing other organisms. He suddenly places the jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule. Remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of the awake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years. I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being threatened with a fork in eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen to if you even think of escaping before the end of your war contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtilest of matters. It will direct you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. Do you understand, organism? Yes, sir. Acceptable. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Could you show me how exactly I press it? I pointed the sticky buttons on the vending machine. Bob's central eye looks at my finger and then at the machine, then back at my face. The creature sighs. A tentacle extends her body with torturous slowness. With the drama of a pianist playing the last tragic note, the tip of the tentacle presses down. Click. Bob waits expectantly. Got it. This concludes the briefing. Remain as polite and organism as you are. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass into another direction with a soft gurgling sound, and he waddled across the linoleum. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices. I knew it, and the buzzing of a neon lamp above my head. I stood in the same spot. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, stood still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from the job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm going to wake up on my couch in my rented apartment. I pinch myself again, and nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And then everything he said, it was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to. Oh no, don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hell? Bells hells? Shit. Where the hell does this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. You can't just bear with the son of creepy piano, sir. Isn't it strange that I work at a cashier for a couple bucks, yet you are the one who wears the jester's hat? Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase?
Purchase? I would like to purchase your attention.
I suppose that's free. It's sort of included in the service package. I suppose it's free. But only for you, sir. You're lucky. Esteemed sir, my attention is on sale today. I'm not sure that's on...
A bargain. But it is wise to put your best merchandise on discount. Anyway, I adore good bargains, especially when they are absolutely unfair. In a truly fair world, my dear soul, you'd be worth more than $6 an hour. Can a mere piece of paper reflect your uniqueness? Can even 6 of them? Not even 20 could. And I wouldn't mind 20 extra pieces of measly paper. My God, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And it seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful, handsome gentleman like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty island of misfortune? Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a handsome gentleman as you? Oh, wait. Where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely gentleman. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King. A title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me Deeren. Now, may I have your hand? Absolutely. He suddenly bows his head and presses his lips into my knuckles. Meeting you is truly a pleasure. His lips are cold, yet a ghostly warmth spreads across my skin. So here I am, dealing with a real gentleman. How lovely. Or a king, as he called himself. Of all the kings and emperors locked in their soft chambers, this one has probably found a way to escape. May I know your name? I don't immediately realize he's asking me a question. I'm still in a daze from that gentlemanly kiss. My name is Ethan. I am also the king of the cat. My name is Ethan. I'm going Big D, or they would if I had any. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. I refuse to reveal any. My demons always do terrible things. My name is Ethan, sir. Ah, my dear Ethan, you are so polite. He seems to savor my name, and he sends shivers down my spine. And that politeness again, as dry and bland as the rations I give my soldiers. The most creaky of my decrees I've signed. And I've signed decrees that require people to weave ropes from sand. And just for fun. Mostly mine. Polite people never risk anything. No friends. No enemies. How is that interesting? Imagine how wonderful it would be if we became enemies. Those would be the most interesting few seconds of your life. Or friends. Then it would be a delightful eternity. Or lovers. Offer him a friendly pinky finger. Is this a friendship custom, I suppose? How charming, and how fortunate I have a pinky you too.
He extends his hand. The creature and I seal our friendship pact with our pinkies. He seems pleased and doesn't plan to turn me into a toad or something like that. I feel my brain is turning into jelly, and I don't understand when we'll finally get to the point. Actually, it's not all that bad. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. Though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot.
So, let's finally get to the purpose of my visit.
Finally.
It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack, except for you. So I'm buying your time. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry.
Oh no.
Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us.
I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. He just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump, or radioactive dump to my gas station. And the jar is gone. My freaking jar. Put it back the way it was. And the jar. Looks like my rental apartment, but it seems less small now. Smellless now. You really don't like change, do you?
But life is ever changing. Life is not a stone, my dear. Life is water. But since you don't like this currents, so be it. Let us find something less populated and mutant. I can't go along without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands make me melancholic because all the fun is happening without me. Disgusting. Allow me.
This is something less radioactive. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. It feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table.
Much better, wouldn't you agree?
Couldn't be better. This is still not Bob will kill me. It's beautiful here and strange. This is your home. It's beautiful here and strange. This is your home. Words of a true poet, Ethan. My two favorite categories. Strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home. It's my cage and my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye bearing a mushroom, it's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Including those people that make their homes out of. And now you're a part of this place too. Isn't that wonderful? I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming, but it'd be better without that frog with a human face. The frog noticed me too. It lets out a sad croak and then looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. Tyrion says he knows my discomfort anyway. His gaze follows mine until it lands to the strange frog. Seems you noticed my pal, Lorre. Yes, I see him and he sees me. That's Lorre, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority. My dear friend, who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with tiny froggy legs. Fought to the end. A true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His existential frog crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambience? He looks at me with an interested expression. Hold on, I don't make... What? What a soft heart you have, my father used to say. A soft heart means soft brains. But I find all things soft quite charming. Let Lori live. It won't even be a big soft snake. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between rat ladies must be exhausting. This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey. And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poisoned or not, if I refuse, his highness might turn me into a frog too. So I pick up a fork from the table, and this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than those cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. It seems you enjoy your cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well, on those occasions when I notice it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner, at least not for the first half hour after the meal. You are very kind. I'm merely hospitable. I'm delighted to share a meal with a dear guest who clearly appreciates good food, but I suppose cheap Chinese noodles would make you appreciate anything. Please, eat your fill. And don't hesitate to stash what you don't want to eat in your pockets. It will give an exquisite aroma and provide a few interesting, mysterious stains. I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us, and that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. Fewer words, fewer chances of catching a deadly magic projectile or something worse. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezes halfway. Why the hell is there human flesh on my plate? Not as tasty as the one I had before. Bravo! Righteous Egger is a wonderful seasoning for any dinner. Calm down, my beautiful fiery juggernaut. It's just a little joke. It's just venison. As far as I can tell, by taste, not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy, our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron. Perfectly sized to fit in it. Definitely not. I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning his prohibition, but that's beside the point. I rarely have visitors, and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the normal trees, rising up the ground like black ink, and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to form within their master's whim. Behold this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity. Sadly, in reality, its curves look far more aesthetic. But give the creator some leeway for expressing us. Many brave but not so bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties like having a long, deep conversations with his own reflection. So far, the scariest thing in this story is the presence of raisins. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away. And he demanded that they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. Who won the pigeons or the grains? But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom. The first hero, Sir Lorre the Righteous in all clanging, self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health, not his foreback. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects too. By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders or lamenting about their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were probably the most restless of them. Every store needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair, the Grotto of Tentacles. Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure a word. The Grotto of Despair sounds better. Indeed, it's a place where one can so wonderfully despair. Let's not get sidetracked. It's the Grotto of Despair. Our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. The Ring of Incredible Power. A bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you, it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440 pounds weight. That was its only magical property. The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor, noble mind, now that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens. So, the knight perished. But then, along came Elmer Eagle-Eye. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot, constantly, during breakfast, while bathing at balls, during sleep, and even when I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity. I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drove his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. Elmo was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally, the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job with my court in exchange for chaining the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now, he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf march is replaced with a lively elven sea shanty, and let no one dare accuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. For me, absolutely. I've never had such a good hunter in my life. I've never quite figured out where he gets all the speeches of animals. But no matter. And finally, the witch. In a giant classic hat, under which you could easily fit another witch, she tried a different approach. Seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse. A fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted in big hats, or people, especially when both come in hand. And those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time, a person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't trust. And again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain. Especially on Thursdays. But back to hats. You are my kindred spirit. Those hats are so pretentious, so self-assured they block the view, get stuck in doorways, and always hint that the wearer is compensating for something. Usually, lack of magical talent, or pitiful personality, and that's on a good day. You, my dear Ethan, have impeccable taste in headwear and, consequently, in everything else. It's a scientifically proven fact. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. And you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours. What punishment benefits her? What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? It doesn't matter what I choose, everything here follows his whims anyway. But as long as I play the circus money, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him? Damn, what should I do? I think it crazy would be to spare her. No one would expect that. Turn into a hat, a small... The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it. Let her be a small cap of eternal regret. She tried to get into my head, now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Indeed, it was a delightful story. I have hundreds more, of course, but these were the first that came to mind. The shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat, or rather, became the caddis-for. I was wondering what kind of nightmares are born in such a case. I'm afraid the world duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Ethan. I rise from the chair. I squeeze my eyes shut, and the light is blinding with my eyes closed. Still unusual after all this darkness. The jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Greetings, organism. How is it? How is your work progressing? I see the first transaction was successful. Acceptable. This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary faculties, but it's a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. Work is going well, sir. Excellent. Maintain this level of productivity. You may be rewarded with an additional 5-minute feeding break if you can find food. Rejoice in my generosity. Continue working. I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you, and I will be even prouder if you acquire even more currency. Your tactic of a polite organism is clearly paying off. Your comment regarding the shine of my appendix is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regimen of polishing them with a void bib. Okay, slime. Goodbye. He slaps across the floor to his office. As soon as Bob's rhythmic wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. One moment I'm in a surreal forest, diving on purple goo with a mad god. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. God, give me back my bills, my noodles, my arguments with strangers on the internet, my beautiful, monotonous, bland life. I was foolish not to appreciate it. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office. Unfair bills, unacceptably large numbers. Of course, what else could have said so much if not that? Steps, another visitor, the one decided to come through for a change. He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves with shampoo, with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. He's not just unwell, he looks like hell. Literally all the skin on the left side is torn off from... I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. How's life, sir?
Fucking awesome. Like a fairy tale. Thanks for asking.
He would dramatically light a cigarette and stare into the void right now, but it seems he doesn't have the strength for that anymore. But it clearly wants to do. I do too, even considering that I don't smoke. This profession is going to drive me crazy one day. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man with a half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help much. I need blood. He tried to smile. It would be charming if he has all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. The client pauses again briefly to clear his throat. We don't do transfusion. Or tomato juice, strong vintage. Let me see what we have. Yeah, good choice, pretty boy. Step up to the storage, just in case. He suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. A strange pressure built in my head, and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms into the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood right now. My client is covered in blood, but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible, or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and snorted suspiciously. So where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Bob, where's the blood? Food for mouth, supplies, foaming body wash and leather rags, items that inspire pensiveness. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and in front of the apartment there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions in front of me with sections with food for mouth. Drink dense energy blocks for chewing, influence nutritional foods, food afraid to heat. The coldest corner of the store. Large freezer sheds and refrigerators with glass doors are covered in frost. Next to the frozen pizza are gremlin cryo capsules, and among the buckets of ice cream you could find for letters like Minity Tritium, and the liquid family. Oh my god. A huge freezer chamber. Master of lesser life forms, spare parts of human organ. This section reeks of formidable hide and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquid sit on the shelves where exhibits float. I try not to think about the one character holding a name tag that reads Kevin. The blood in this jar is a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, whoever you were on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You're probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And here you are in a jar. There's something to ponder. He barely lifts his head as I approach. You, already? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Well, Good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Ugh, for crying out loud. What the hell is this crap? He reads the note in the jar. Michael. Well, you are a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, a successful career, a retirement account, and this jerk probably never even had cockroaches. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp. It's no longer going to get to the rat. He gives me a crooked smile from his newly restored rogue-like face. I'm going to wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. Well, he's not here. I have a perk under my by the blood on. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day at work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm just doing just fine. Nobody's eating me. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl. I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, if you try to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you may have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance, especially that part about the walnut. I'm Crystal. Nice to meet you, Ethan. Okay, Ethan. I knew Ethan once. He used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. Oh, that was me. I love trading kidneys. He was a good boy until he got packed up. He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life so as to see how uncomfortable I can get. No kidneys, say nothing. Look away. Relax, pretty boy. Just kidding. He says it with delight. Now he's the king of this dump and the main authority. He backed me into a corner with one lousy story. Now I have a vampire here and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. And really yourself is shaking before it just happened. David lets out a quiet chuckle. The guy clearly expects me to be free of him. He might have looked lost when he first arrived, but now seeing my fear, he obviously feels right at home. It's not over yet. Although, you're too bony. I'm sure you love to eat all that cheap crap like instant noodles. People like that, the blood's just not tasty. Only if there's nothing more interesting than that blood. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Damn mutts. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely. Does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. No, let me help. I don't want to help you, but I'm kind of resignation. David lets out a dry chuckle. Wow, what honesty. What if the creature doesn't want your treatment, Dr. Cox? It's just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. I'm fine. I give him a chance to save face. Now we're treating him not because he's a wimp, but because he's survived an epic battle, a direct blow to his ego. The guy immediately starts puffing up with pride. His eyes light up. Uh-huh. I hope I didn't catch rabies. I decide to remain silent now that he's already pretty rabid. 4 against 1 in a narrow alley, you know. There's a myth about werewolves being damn noble, like us bloodsuckers. Well, that's a load of crap. One of them hiding in a trash can, ready to jump out at me. My heart would have definitely stopped dead, even if it's still beat. It would have just ripped out apart from a freaking heart attack. I'm afraid I'll never be able to take out the trash can without fearing for my life. Judging by that distant look, he's plagued by flashbacks of what he's been through. David awkwardly moves his injured arm. Alright, hand over your first aid kit. I'm sure this won't be the last pack I'll have to take down. There are way too many stray dogs around these days. Damn you. Go ahead. Get your band-aids with Dr. Chocula or whatever you're selling. David shifts his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt, then settles into a squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying up all for a few minutes. For some reason, Cool Fright doesn't have any coffee. He certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available to me now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting on the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading "Kit for your alternatively living organisms." Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items: silver tweezers, vials of thick, glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course, an instructional manual. A cheap, laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie. Ask your alternately living subject if they wanted to eat someone's brain. I don't know. What subject? Fuck. I'm not, not a subject. It seems I've offended his vampire feelings. He's let out an annoyed sigh for the umpteenth time today. Your brain? Definitely not. What about someone else's? Well, was that a joke about me being dumb? I am, by the way, very smart, and I have a very tasty brain. Not smart enough to understand that vampires don't eat brains. Do you remember Dracula eating brains? No. Did he rise from the coffin and say, "What a lovely eating, I think I'll go munch on some brains"? Stop looking at me like that. I'm not a damn zombie. I'm a vampire. Not even a chupacabra. Zombies are stupid. They can't even talk. They just grunt and groan. I don't get why that's not in your necrotherapist guide. Am I a zombie? Either or not. I would do a backflip out of driver outfit and have a piece of cloth sticking on my ankle. I steal a glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggested they could have. This guy has a killer's gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds could werewolves leave? He listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal for all valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. I'm dying of laughter. He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind humor, but I won't be fooled. David is no longer just a wounded sucker. He's a true gladiator, having survived a battle with a rabid beast. Absolutely epic. I read through what medication I need to grab the regenerating extra for alternative living organisms. Now that all that's left is to apply the stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and suddenly he grabs my hand. Do something wrong and I'll rip your tonsils out through your ass. Allow me. Really? It's hard to pull my hand when dealing with a creature of such strength. I brace myself, but his grip doesn't budge an inch. He's clearly amused by my struggle. To be honest, I'm not sure if Bob will back me up. Should he? Don't squirm. I don't like hurting other people, but I can. Just do your job well, and everything will be fine, okay? I apply this black glue to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the wound, and the air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably something very painful. But David remains calm, not a single complaint, which is surprising. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, buddy. My movements become slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wound to allow him to get used to the sting. I can see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relax slightly. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. Naturally, no thank yous or pleas from him. But at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. David, every normal night. What are you talking about? What night? What battles? I fought an alley stinking out of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves for territory on the outskirts of this godforsaken city. They tore my pants and I had to take a new pair off a junkie who was lying in a puddle nearby. What am I? A knight of what? The knight of torn pants. Oh, go to hell. David says this almost affectionately. It seems we're making progress in our relationship. I finish up, surprised that the wounds really are healing. The scars won't pay. Why are you doing all of this? The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. He's driving me crazy, even more than the clown from earlier, it seems. These are my work obligations. I just want to help. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into this flawless, long-running mechanism. Let's just say I have certain fetishes. I can't watch someone suffer. Wow, God bless your noble heart. He shifts awkwardly, clearly is uncomfortable and unaccustomed to being the subject of compassion, so he immediately hides behind yet another sarcastic comment. But what can I do? I feel sorry for every little kitten on the street. Sometimes I feel even sorry for large, nasty, troublesome creatures. It must be tough living with someone like that, huh? I bet you have 40 cats living in your apartment, and all of them are strays. David reads me like an open book. It's amusing that he can even read it all. Most of the time, help isn't altruistic. People always want something in return. Money, a favor, for you to take them off the hook. Helping people for no reason is like throwing shit against the wind. Alright, moving on. Screw this. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head. This is the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare, exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in front of the counter. So, the client is fed, clean and healed, and yet he's still here, not putting my money on the counter. And the tip jar is lacking. I look at him, he's supposed to be full of energy, but instead, he looks lost. David is deep in thought, in that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Are you planning to pitch a tent here, cautious? David snorts, hearing the impatience in my voice. Tired of me, a company pretty boy? I leave when I want to leave, and I don't want to know it yet. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. I wonder by regular human does he mean extremely natural essence. I'm no werewolf vampire thriving, no. Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a gray cloud. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get the chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want, and where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. Who were you before the bite? What kind of superpowers or weaknesses will I have? And who were you before the bite? He opens his mouth ready to tell me off or mention something about butts again, but he stopped. Probably thank you sealed our fragile friendship. I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. I was just surviving as everything went to hell. Unlike all those bastards born with a silver spoon up their ass. You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? They sit at the table with a bowl of salad, smiling like idiots, and they always have a dog. Well, that wasn't my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought his best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. It's really dumb, but I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. But as they say, wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up faster. At first, I worked wherever I could, then found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in the Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register right. David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the upper and middle classes. But it hasn't affected me yet. I wonder why. That's it. That's the whole story. What about you? Oh Lord, this might just make up something cool, or just tell it like it is. I have a single parent family and an art degree. Needless to I ended up in this dump on my job search and everything else. I didn't sell drugs in alleys, but it seems like we still find some common ground. Got it. You're not in your element. David truly understands neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are. Neither of us knows what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles. But he can't eat them anymore. I win. You must be tired of this drama or crust, huh? I would draw you. Oh, like a French girl? He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes shows he's interested. Go ahead, I love beautiful doodles. He says the word doodles with such strange tenderness that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. Draw him as he is. Wow, what a face. I almost forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to this unexpected little act of normalcy. Looks cool. The last words are spoken in barely audible, almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've heard from him before. Two simple words said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I can do something too. David takes the pencil from me and, with deep concentration almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles something. No. A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. I never would have thought this guy was capable of that. Wow, beautiful. David clears his throat, embarrassed. Nothing special, just a doodle. I was into it when I was a kid. Comics, all that stuff. Nothing serious. I take the drawing for myself. Alright, where were we? David looks at me expectantly. Can you find who... Excellent. He leans in a little closer when suddenly we hear a wolf following. I don't even have time before David vanishes. Now he's all about hiding behind the counter. Listen up. Don't say anything about me. Sit down and behave, or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me out to them, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off. The threat in his voice is completely lacking, mostly because his voice now comes very small, though angry bad. A werewolf. A werewolf is about to come here now. The creature steps inside. Oh, good evening, sir. A low, rumbling bass, surprisingly calm and friendly. I'm listening, sir. Apologies for this, sudden intrusion. Edward. You can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. You haven't seen a vampire around here by chance, have you? You know, young, scruffy, wearing a leather jacket. You see, here's the story. One of our packs nearly took out the vampire, Sire, and his offering us a few hours ago. It was a tough battle. We suffered losses. But we tried to track them and found one of them. Or more like a pile of ash where he once lay. It seems one bloodsucker alpha the other when he was weakened. Their family values are quite lacking. It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about it. Probably that's why he had all those questions about vampires. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator, but in a completely idiotic way. You see, sir, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood like mosquitoes, but unlike mosquitoes, they kill off by drawing them dry. They languish in boredom with their immortality, then thus destroy human destinies, play with them, torment them, and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings. I look at David, devoid of any feelings. He's shaking all over. So, I would be incredibly grateful for any help. Don't give David away, gravity. Then briefly meet David's eyes. The bat nervously swallowed and slowly nodded his head. He feeling that just met through. I force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. A quiet, peaceful night. Eddie examines me closely, probably catching a faint scent of blood, but my calm demeanor throws him off. Strange. Well, okay. If he shows up, just give me a whistle. We won't far away from him. Good night, sir. Werf goes away off to his wolf business. David crawls out from his hiding spot. He throws a few bills into the jar. Here's your damn money. Choke on it. He leaves without saying goodbye. I can't tell if he's mad because I'm moral swindling him like a sucker or because I saw him in a moment of weakness. Will his fragile ego survive this blow? Maybe I'll find out. Either way, there's one less vampire at the gas station. Another satisfied customer. I survived another visitor. So I'm starting to get used to this job. Wiping off the sticky residue, hoping it was just spilled soda from the counter. I suddenly hear the crunch of gravel outside. Hooves. This is definitely not another vampire. The stranger leans against the counter, trying to look casual, but the way his tail switches betrays his nervous tension. Hi. He clears his throat. Hello, pretty boy. My name is Victor. Aren't your parents pirates? Aren't your parents pirates by any chance? From a wedding from grandfather's. What he's going to buy? You can. Aren't your parents farmers? I can almost read. I practiced so many times and I'm still stumbling. He breathes in fits and forces a nervous, trembling smile. It's very surprising that they aren't pirates because you are a real gem, sir. You illuminate this dirty gas station with your glow. I mean, you clean it very well. This is not a complaint to you. It's just forget it. You're a gem. Let's leave it at that. Awkwardly smile in response to encourage him. I give him a light, hesitant smile. It's a bit awkward, a bit forced, but undoubtedly encouraging. Victor awkwardly smiles back, wagging his tail a little. He's incredibly happy that I didn't start an exorcism ritual. Didn't call security, though. There's probably none anyway. Or, worst of all, the security of this establishment is my responsibility. And his smile gradually fades, and he looks nervously. May I ask you a question? His face is burning. Victor takes another deep, frantic breath. His stomach is growling so horribly. I hope this guy is okay. Is it really that bad? I mean, is my flirting technique really that terrible? Well, it could have been better. So you're saying there's a chance Thank you. I'm still learning. So, I'm not that bad. It wasn't completely disgusting. His hooves tap a rhythm on the floor. Alright. It could have been better. I can deal with that. This is constructive criticism. Maybe the problem was the presentation. Or the pirates. Pirates are cool, right? Everyone loves pirates. Wait, no, don't answer. I'm talking too much again. He coughs shyly and mumbles something to himself. Then he shifts his gaze back to me. Actually, sir, I'm here to inquire. He doesn't get to finish. We have a visitor. She stands next to the counter, clicking her mandibles impatiently.
Two blocks broccoli, a bag of screaming cheese, and a bag of fairy fingers, darling. By the way, your guy's a real sweetheart.
It's frightening to imagine what my invisible colleague looks like. He doesn't even bother to say hello.
And hurry up. I need to rush. I have a lot of work waiting for me today.
I'm starting to pack the quarter. At the same time, this incubus awkwardly strides to hit on the lady. And I thought we had something special. Apparently, the failed Casanova decided to try his luck on a new victim. Wow, you seem, so busy and cool, ma'am. And you must have a very wonderful job? She just clicks her mandibles energetically, producing a buzzing sound that vaguely resembles laughter.
Wonderful. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Who don't like to eat, sleep, I've seen their children grow. Really?
The best job of all 9 worlds, speaking of children. Hold on. Victor barely recovers from her sarcasm when the lady immediately pulls a wallet out of her bag and unfolds it. Over and over again. It seemed endless. This is Gugu. He has his father's mandibles. Victor gazes into the abyss and the abyss gazes back, reeling baby pictures. The seduction attempt has failed again. Like any mother, Lady Mantis loved her children and considered it its scared her duty to tell every passing incubus about them. This is Gugu. He's in his rebel phase right now. He pierces his mandibles. Can you imagine? He makes such a racket when he eats. The image of a larva in a blink biker jacket makes me snort. It reminds me of David. This is Gigi and Gaga. They are still larvae, but already so talented. What talents can larvae have? They just lie there and eat. I do too, though. Wait, don't think about that. You... Sorry, fuck. God damn it. You have, very... You have very beautiful children, ma'am. All 20 of them. Incredibly cute.
That's just the first wallet.
Hand the lady her order. Oh, I got carried away. I'm really in a hurry. Here's your money, darling. Victor watches her disappear into the night and then turns to me with a grateful look. Thank you, sir. I couldn't handle 20 more kids. To be honest, I already broke down at the 8th. And I thought looking after... Oh my god. Sorry. And I thought that looking after a cat was hard. The lady left very little in tips. Probably all her money went to her children. Victor suddenly remembers he came here to buy something. However, my visitors really recall that. I need the book. If Victor scans my stinking supernatural arm, I'm just gonna rotten chocolate bars. It's a guide. I'm so sorry. Fuck. Yeah. succubi and incubi. I can't remember what it's called, but I definitely heard something about that. Could you take a look? It's definitely not for me. It's for my less experienced friend, because I'm, employing in the month of Malaya. He didn't specify whether he was the worst or the best employee of the month. Well, life foresting, harvesting for dummies or something like that. I hear him mumbling quietly to himself. Such a shame. I sit to stay at home and rewatch Evangeline for the 10th time. I'm heading to the storage room. Just for a few hours before, I was rushing around here looking for blood for a very hungry monster. And all he finds eyes and dumbly seems less ominous. A dead moth lies on top of one of the boxes, or perhaps it's just very tired. I'm rummaging through the book section, deep in between baboon metaphysics and limits of patience of your dead servants. I find the desired volume. I come back to this from the storage room, holding this forbidden, mind-bending treatise titled "Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Demons and Everything You Didn't Want to Know About Them." Wow, this is definitely better than those PDF guides from the various sites for. Never mind though. Clearly not for the whole family. Let's study it? Yes, it would be very unusual if you just tipped me, and moved along. I expect too much from this life. But in fact, this will be an entertaining educational lesson. It certainly will be. That's unnecessary. And the guy who looks like those pictures are enough for me to make them faint. The sooner this is over, the sooner I can send him on his way. You find it cozy found at the counter. I put the grimoire closer. Open the book, and the pages, yellowed and brittle with age, release a cloud of dust and incessant, horrifying desires. Incubi, the nature of tempting rogue hooves of a desire.
Tempting rogues. Oh, that's me. Yes, definitely me. Hooves are just like mine. You have no idea how awful they clop. Especially on toils. When you sneak that fridge at night, the whole house wakes up with you. Everyone thinks there's a big clumsy cloud living in your apartment. Yeah, I think you're really an incubus. They're all purple. Victor, you look more like a sleep paralysis demon. Oh, you're right. All incubi really are purple. I thought my skin color was just some kind of coincidence. They're like when you create a character in a video game, and just to spin the color wheel, until you stumble upon something weird. It gives me a cautious look, as if not entirely sure about the coolness of his purple hue. Purple's a lame color. I hate eggplants. I love the too bad I'm not purple. I know what you mean. When I was creating someone else. He lets a quiet, soft chuckle. Spore. Seriously? I know it's a self-deprecating joke, but by the way, it really has an awesome creature maker. I love the mating dances in that game. Maybe I should have taken a couple of my profession. And by the way, you could make beautiful creatures in sport too, even with symmetrical limbs. It seems like that was a compliment to me. I am very symmetrical. Face sits back at the book and runs its claw finger down the lines. Incubi, anticipators, appreciators of the vibrant hues of the soul. They draw power not from blood or life force, but from the pure, potent energy of mortal emotions. And although a refined bouquet of positive emotions is the preferred ambrosia, ambrosia, what a fancy word. A practitioner can also sustain themselves with more coarse, fickle energies of negativity, despair, horror, and humiliated but with a quick, albeit unpleasant, rush of power. It's no wonder that now, after an argument with someone in the comments, I feel like no one I've eaten a few raisins. Judging by the expression on his face, he clearly didn't cut off for horrors and humiliations. His limit is probably arguing on 4chan. Also a kind of source of horrors and humiliations, but still, it's a bit different. An incubus, albeit less effectively, form a symbiotic connection by feeding off a single, consenting mortal vessel. The mortal vessel in turn can absorb some of the power from the incubus, among other things, their immortality. Wow, sounds like a decent deal. I certainly have plenty of emotions.
Mostly I transacted that I had to earn money. You have to work all amount of reasons for Victor, or whatever he called it. What a relief. Just one person. The thought of having to chase after a whole bunch of strangers makes me feel sick. Strangers are the scariest thing right after rent, but I left. Yeah, I totally understand you. It's probably even hard to deal with clients like me. Communication is already horrible in and of itself, and then you add the literal horror with the vampires and ghosts. Just a nightmare. He really looks at me with sympathy. He feels sorry for me. I don't even know how to react to that. Trying to understand what people want from you is quite the challenge. It's like trying to play a game with its rules changing every 5 seconds. And someone has turned off your screen, and you're paralyzed. Basically, yeah, I completely get you. Victor flips through Grimoire, reading the top chapter titles. Techniques of a road succession, juicy emotional juices, using Leviscuous. What? Lascivious energies for thaumaturgical purposes. I don't even want to know. I just want to not starve without energy, and maybe pay my rent. I don't need to be the lusty covered cousin of Doctor Strange. His finger finally jabs at a random paper that title somewhere in the middle. Love letters. It seems completely irrevocably outdated, especially that part about carrier pigeon colors. Love letters. Who writes love letters anymore? This should apply to text messages now, right? But this is a good start. Let's work on this before moving on to more complex seduction methods. He pulls out from somewhere a cheap ballpoint with a little anime cat term on the end. I hand him a grease-stained napkin, like everything in his rotten place. This book says to convey aching adoration and a hint of forbidden desire. Victor starts scribbling something on the napkin. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I guess this really isn't the most aching thing in the world. He takes the less greasy napkin from me and starts drawing again. What about this? You remember a funny kitty? Wonderful, that lonely, pain-filled tear is like the cherry on top. Oh, thank you, Lord. I guess I shouldn't say that anymore. He lets a sigh of relief. So, the key to success is adorable vulnerability. Got it. Less pathetic desperation, more cats. The difference is indeed subtle. Not everyone can catch it. Victor continues to flip through the book. Recognizing the desires of the vessel, he scans the first read on the text level, observing subtle hints, interpreting body language, and engaging in candid conversations to uncover the special nature of mortal, carnal desires. He glances at me. What does Vessel Ethan want? The stablement of the vessel wants fame, love, and honor. He furrows his brows sympathetically. I see a shadow of his own lonely soy jack meme illuminated in existence in there. Yes, I understand. Well, there's a chapter on how to ease someone's anxiety. Sometimes conversations help too. Not like proper therapy, I suppose, but still. Not that I know anything about proper therapy. In any case, you can always become a source of relief, a constant, reliable source of relief. Or at least to take out your trash. Sometimes that's the most titanic burden to bear. Just don't look at me like that, and don't say, sometimes I'm the kind of trash that needs to be thrown out. That's not true. What? No, I would never, would I? We continue to study this villainous seduction manual. The art of verbal seduction and slippery flattery. To his surprise, Victor finds no mention of the fact that pirate compliments work on living people. We examine the first paragraph, where words are labeled as keys to the treasure chest. The heart and flattery is described as a powerful aphrodisiac for the ego. It's all very dramatic, but the main idea is quite simple. Say nice things, don't say unpleasant things. This is definitely outdated. If I tell someone that her eyes are like gateways to the Champs Elysees, I'll definitely get sprayed with pepper. And this, good lord, when I kiss you, I tremble like a paralyzed beggar. How is that even supposed to work? No. That's too much, even for me. Victor clears his throat. His gaze slides over me, trying to latch onto something particularly attractive about my appearance. You have very elegant airship. No problem. I mean, they really are. They have a very elegant curve, aesthetically pleasing. 11 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale. Years on my head are 11 out of 10. Will there ever be a happy day in my life? He takes a deep breath, getting his courage from another compliment. Actually, you seem so calm and collected. You remain polite no matter what. Patient. That's an incredibly rare phenomenon. Especially in a place like this. You have to be incredibly strong to stay so cool under pressure. This person was struck down by ordinary, basic politeness. That says a lot about our society. Smile. That wasn't bad. He smiles gently in response. Despite everything, he starts to relax. He's probably beginning to feel more comfortable around me. I would never have thought a monster would have to struggle with discomfort from interacting with a mortal soul, and not the other way around. Another chapter. How to be a mirror. I didn't know we could change. Oh, it's metaphorical. The text describes the principle of mirroring, subtly borrowing mannerisms, speech patterns, and even expressed opinions of the victim to create a more sense of closeness and understanding. The path of least resistance to gaining mortal achievement. Oh no. What about all that stuff about just be yourself and everything will work out? My mom lied to me, didn't she? What with similar interests? Ugh. What do ordinary people do? Football and the weather? Definitely not animes and Dark Souls. Discussing the brilliant soundtrack of Silent Hill with people is a bad idea, that's for sure. Alright, practice. The book says that practice is the key to success. Victor lifts his gaze to me. Play along with me, please. Like we just met. A beautiful mortal soul. I have appeared to you in half dreams so many times. But I finally decided to find in reality. I won't let you go so easily again. Even though words aren't the most elegant, there's something supernatural about them. I still begin to feel a pull. A shiver runs down my spine. Go on, just pretend to get close to us. I'll give into the feeling. He moves closer, his movements suddenly becoming smooth and eerily graceful. The words, this creature not speaks, bypass my mind and penetrate straight into some primal parts of my brain. I play along, but part of me realizes this is an entirely game of a mortal being, and he's a demon from hell who came for a wretched soul. I know this is dangerous, Moto. That's wrong. It's forbidden fruit. But doesn't that make it all the sweeter? Oh no, the last remnants of reason being protest. Oh yes, everything else replies. I lean into him with my whole body, eager to hear the last forbidden, incredibly sensual. Ow! Damn it, my leg just cramped. The reason Tom brutally cuts off, we're back in the little gas station. Sorry, I couldn't hold that seductive pose for more than 10 minutes. But it seems like we were doing pretty well, right? What even was that thing? He's flipping through the treatise a bit longer before letting out a sigh. His stomach growls again. It seems he could use an emotional snack. I think we've covered all the important stuff. I suppose it's time to wrap things up. He starts to rise from the floor. Wait, how did it happen in the mornings? Even I had a briefing. I'm in 2 minutes. He claps his way to the counter. Well, to be honest, I didn't really understand much. Those chocolates are so strange. He lets out a quiet chuckle. But you know what? It was great. I haven't had this much fun in a while. I think I even ate properly. Finally. Positive energy, I mean. Thanks for the lunch. I'm not sure if I need to pay for that too, but I'll leave some money just in case. His tail twitches awkwardly. I haven't really interacted with people since college killed my will to live. It felt strange not to feel like such an idiot around someone. Thank you very much. He tosses some money into the jar and takes a deep breath and adds, and maybe someday we could, well, hang out together. Not as a lesson, just play some silly games like friends. Why not? A date. His tail starts wiggling wildly, knocking around the 3 bags of chips, a can of soda, and a bottle of gloomy tea. Of course I'm ready. He struggles to rein in the flow of enthusiasm and takes a frantic breath. See you then. Goodbye. Bye, Ethan. Good luck with your shift. It was nice to meet you. The guy's return to silence, broken only by the hum of refrigerators of my own 2 loud thoughts. So, a crazy god, a vampire thug, and a shy incubus walk into a gas station. Something that started a really bad joke, but my life is now a joke. Just great. I just wanted to pay my bills. I didn't sign up for interdimensional quarrels and therapy sessions for the undead. But, on the other hand, I wasn't Ian and I wasn't a new piece of furniture. By the standards of this night, that's a resounding success. I cautiously glanced at the door to Bob's office. There was a low, guttural humming like a giant disgruntled computer. 2-hour worker was working inside. The clock on the wall indicated that it was the end of my shift. With a heavy sigh of relief at being called out of the place, I finally walked to the front door, inserted the key to the lock, and was ready to turn when suddenly... Organism. I jumped in place, nearly dropping everything. Organism. Your performance has exceeded all my algorithmic predictions by 47.3%. You are not just an organism, you are an efficient, flawless machine of generating currency. I am feeling an emotion your counter describes as a managerial pride. I'm still in Victor's accent. If you keep up the good work, the possibility of receiving a 25-cent wow will become not just hypothetical, but quite real. Go, organisms. Restore energy resources in return for further exploitation. What a relief. He vanished as suddenly as he had appeared, leaving nothing but ringing silence behind. I started for a few seconds processing what I'd heard. Then I slowly turned the key in the lock. Click. First shift completed. I survived. And now I can do anything, which means... call Victor, obviously. Victor promises to come faster than the wind. True to his word, when his car pulls into the parking lot, he nearly knocks over a trash bin. My bad. It's an old, well-maintained car, clearly inherited from his grandfather. It's warm and it smells nice. His apartment is exactly as imagined. A bit cluttered, but cozy. Oh, and soon I get humiliated by the very first boss. Victor sitting next to me laughs. It's not that you're bad at this, as you say. It's just that I'm in there with a whole lot of free time. His fingers glide artfully over the buttons. I felt at ease for the first time in a long while. No fear, no tension, just 2 people playing video games. He freezes for a second, then a blush of fear on his violet cheeks. He coughs awkwardly but doesn't pull away. Instead, he gently leads his head towards mine. Ethan, you've made me so happy in just one evening, and I'll do anything I can do to make you happy. I close my eyes, listening to the quiet clicking of buttons. An incubus partner. My partner is an incubus, and he's better at Souls-like than games that I am, for now. Something very interesting is definitely happening with my life. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I love that. Oh, that was so cute. My voice hurts. My throat is killing me. But that was great. I loved that. I was not expecting it to be that thought out and that much oh, I love Victor. I love Victor. Oh my god, Victor. Oh. Oh. Jesus Christ, But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Go check this game out, itchy.io. It's very good. That was very good. I really like that a lot. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.